Happy to be back. Really excited to start the year off. I know our team is very excited about the season, and certainly with the poll coming out and putting us in fourth place. You don't put a lot of coaches certainly don't put a lot of meat on that bone because it's so early. But I think that's something for our program is a highlight. We haven't been thought of that highly in previous seasons, and I think that's really kind of what this season is for us. We're very excited, obviously, about last year's record, the 15 wins being the most wins in Division I season for us. But that was kind of a competence that we were excited to reach. And I feel like our squad has a very quiet confidence about them so far this year and going into the year. And obviously that's based on their past success, but it's also really great to see that the league thinks highly of us as well. So girls have been working very hard. They can't wait to play somebody else, just like everybody else in the league, I'm sure at this point. But obviously with media day coming up and scrimmages, we know that opening night is right around the corner, and our girls are chomping to get going. Our standards are higher than where we are. 15 wins was great, but we know that there was a lot of games kind of left out there. And I think that's something that our squad certainly understands. I think that was a great jump that we made in our second season in the America East. But there's better basketball out there for us. We just have to go get it. And that's what we're really working for every day. But obviously you have to prove it on game nights. So we're excited about that. And this is a group that's more mature. Like I said, I just think there's a certain confidence about this group that we haven't always had, but that comes with obviously achievement. So everything was so brand new to us going into every other year. Now we have an idea who we are a little bit. But with that said, we obviously lost a lot of leadership with Ellen Stoll and Maddie Martin and Kimmy Evans and Sam Schultz. Those guys were here for a long time and helped build this program. So we have to find that leadership along with kind of this newfound maturity and confidence. It's really a conversation about standards, and I think that's, if your standards are high and they don't change, we're not trying. I mean, we've made incremental progress, which is good, but we've fallen short each year of where we wanted to be. So our standard is to be the best team in the conference. And so that's a constant conversation of, are we practicing, like that? Are we preparing like that? Are we coming into practice, ready to be the best team in the league today? And that's just part of program building. And I think we've gotten there every year. But now there is a little bit more expectation on us. We're more of a known commodity than we've been before. So that's going to be, I think that's more of the conversation. Like, hey, we're not sneaking up on anybody anymore. People know who we are. People know Kenna. People know Lyzi. They know who these players are. And we saw that maybe we snuck up on Stony Brook and Maine early last year, and then they paid us back very much later on. So we're not going to be able to do that. And that's the step that we have to take. These guys are stat sheet stuffers. They're getting rebounds, they're getting assists, they're getting steals, they're getting blocks. That's the kind of team we are. That's the kind of program we are. Everybody's contributing. Generally we have balanced scoring. So not that I would love if they both went out and got 20 a night, certainly, but it's kind of one of those where hey, if we're playing as a team, then I know we're going to give ourselves a shot every night. And we want to be more than just hey, this opponent's coming in focusing on these two players, and they're going to shut those two players down, and we're going to struggle. That's not who we are as a program. And so Lyzi and Kenna are really good with that. Sometimes maybe too good, that they're really kind of being passive at times, but, they want to get their teammates involved. And so to have kids that are your leaders, that are that selfless, I think puts our program in a great spot. That they don't need the limelight. They don't need to be the leading scorer. They're not checking the stat sheet to see what they scored. They want to make sure that the team is playing well and playing together. And that's why they're our captains, quite honestly. you're going to get into some deep psychological things here. I don't think of myself as maybe a defensive coach, and maybe my players probably don't think that either, because that's what obviously we're harping on a lot. But I'd like to see more offense. I think our offense should be more of a threat. I think it should be more of putting pressure on the other team's offense. So I'm hoping again that our offense can break out at all positions, and that we can kind of get into those high 60s, 70 points a game. Because I think in this league, that's, a lot of the league is kind of in those 60s, low 60s. And so we want to put some offensive pressure on people. But defensive focus is obviously, something that we care about a lot. For me, it's really about scouting. So that really is a lot on my staff, that these guys are preparing our team for their next game. And we're treating the next game, like gold. Everybody, again, keeping that standard high. And so we do a great job in scouting. We want to be the most prepared team in the league. I think our staff takes real pride in that. I think our players take real pride in that. And I thought we saw that growth last year live on the bench in games of just everybody being like locked in and engaged defensively. And that's been a growing process for sure. Just to kind of get everybody on the program to notice like, hey, here's a possession, we're stopping this possession, and we need everybody, kind of locked into that. So it's really nice to have that defense to lean on. That you can travel with defense, as they say. We'd like to see our offense travel a little bit more as we mature here.